Back in December, Stephanie Perry, who we all know is the queen of house sitting and doing the absolute least, on one of her Saturday morning lives, discussed a bunch of ways, different ways, that Black women are funding their lives abroad. That got me to thinking that the way to fund your dreams and do the least amount of work possible would be through having a few passive income streams. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we jump into that, let me take a moment to introduce myself to everybody who's new. Hello, welcome. My name is Adelia Borchade. I'm also known as Picky Girl Travels the World. 5.5 years ago, I left the United States to live a life centered on travel in an effort to help you do the same. I want you to get out there and live the life that you've always wanted. If that sounds like the exact kind of YouTube content you've been looking for, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you'll be the first to know when I upload a new video or go live. Let's talk about passive income. It's a term I hear thrown around a whole lot, but a lot of times it's being misused. Passive income is money that you make doing the least amount of work possible. It doesn't mean that you will make money super fast, but it means other than either a little bit of work along the way or some work on the front end, but none on the back end, that you can earn money that way. Your 9-to-5 job, that is active income. You must actively do something every day, every week in order to earn that money. There are a lot of misconceptions or misunderstandings about what kinds of activities are actually considered to be passive income. So that's what I want to talk about today to clear up some of that. Not all passive income is easy to earn, okay? When we discuss passive income, we can really lump that into 3 different categories. So you can either invest your money somewhere and have it grow, you can make some stuff, earn money that way, or the stuff that you already have, you can sell that or rent it to make money. Let me give you some examples. Okay. Our first category is investing. This requires the least amount of work on your part, okay? There are different ways that you can invest to create passive income. The one that comes to mind for most people are stock dividends. The idea is that you purchase stocks that pay dividends, and by simply virtue of owning those stocks, you receive money. Sounds great, and it is, because you virtually have to do no work. But something to remember is that typically most stocks pay a 1% dividend. So you'd have to have a sizable amount of money invested if your entire passive income was going to come from stock dividends. So for example, if you wanted $500 of passive income, you would need to have invested something like $200,000, $300,000 into dividend paying stocks in order to have that much money come to you. I'm not saying this is good or bad. I just want to make sure everybody understands how that works. Real estate investing is another option. Now, how passive is real estate investing? That really depends. If you are owning individual properties yourself, if you're going to be the one doing the maintenance and the upkeep and all of that, that's not really passive. You could hire a property management company. That would make the income you make a little bit more passive, but those people are not going to work for free. You have to compensate them. So that takes a little money away from you. But if you really want the no muss, no fuss way to earn real estate income, that would be investing in something called a REIT, a real estate investment trust. In this situation, you would not own each property individually. You and other investors pool your money, and the REIT, you put your money in the REIT purchases the property and pays out dividends. REITs have to pay out 90% of what they make in dividends, so this may be a good option for you. Another way to invest and create passive income is through peer-to-peer lending. Think about your relationship with your bank, your credit card company. They lend you, your mortgage company. They lend you money at a certain interest rate, and that's the profit they make off of that transaction, off of that loan. Well, what if you became the bank? What if you lent money to other people who needed it? You would make that money. You don't have to do any work other than the initial loaning of the money. There are several peer-to-peer lending platforms like Prosper, Funding Circle, Peerform. Really, this requires very little work on your part, but it's not going to make you lots of money very quickly. Another option are vending machines and ATMs. And I want to, you all know what a vending machine is, but I want you to expand your idea of what an ATM could be, because it could be a cash ATM, but in this new world we're living in now, it could be a Bitcoin ATM. Just like when you go to the ATM and use it, you have to pay a fee. Well, what if instead of the bank getting the fee, it was you? There is a little bit of work, particularly if you do vending machines or cash ATMs. You have to restock them. If you're doing vending machines, you have to manage the inventory and make sure that the food in the vending machine, if it's a food vending machine, doesn't have to be. If it's a food vending machine, making sure that the products stay in date. I went to one university and they had a vending machine that gave out number 2 pencils and Scantrons and test booklets. So, you know, I think there are lots of options here. You could outsource that and pay somebody to stock your machines. Now for our next category of passive income ideas, creating things that you can sell. We want to focus on doing the least amount of work possible, but there has to be some work. Okay, with these, you do the work on the front end once the product is created, and then as it is sold, you don't have to do anything. This is really a way that you can make money in your sleep after the small initial labor investment. Creating digital products. There are so many digital product options out there. Ebooks, courses, printables, NFTs. I'm sure there's tons of other ones that I haven't even thought about. One of the cool things about creating assets to sell is there's basically a one-time time investment. So that's the advantage to these. Another option is photo or music licensing. You know, those awesome pictures that you take, or maybe it doesn't even have to be pictures from your vacation. Like, think about stock photography. Somebody has to provide those pictures. If you've got a ton of pictures from your vacation, you can license those on different sites and make money. Same thing if you are musically talented, your music can be licensed to be used commercially. You could make merch, t-shirts, calendars, planners. I mean, the sky really is the limit, but you can create a physical product, not just digital product, such as merchandise, and sell that online. And there are sites like Spreadsheet and Zazzle. Those are old school sites, but you get the idea. They take care of everything. They handle the inventory, they print, they ship. You just come up with the one-time idea. They take care of everything else. And then lastly, I'm gonna put affiliate sales in this group. The thing about affiliate sales, if you want to be in someone's affiliate program, you need to have some platform, some place in order to put that link. It might be a newsletter, it might be a blog, it might be a YouTube channel, it might be whatever, but you have to have created something that people are wanting where they would interact with that affiliate link. So that's why I put it in this category. And then our last category is selling or renting things. Think about your house, your apartment. It is full of stuff. What if you could sell some of the stuff that you are not using, have no future plans to use, list it online? That's the initial work at the beginning. And then when it's sold, you just collect the money. Maybe there are items in your home that are not being used, but you don't want to get rid of them. You can rent those. For example, land lease. If you have space, this could be you've got farmland, it could be you have a vacant lot. You can rent that to farmers who they just need a little extra space to grow hay or whatever for a season. We watched Stephanie Perry's video about tiny houses and learned that there is this whole community of tiny house owners who need places to park their tiny house. If you've got the space, you can rent it to these tiny house people. Campers fall into that same category. Heck, even if you have a parking space that you are not using. As a matter of fact, I just did this. My neighbor down the hall needs an extra parking space, so they approached me about paying me every month to use a parking space that I have no intention on ever using. That is a truly passive stream of income. I will not do anything, and I will make some money. In that same vein is the short-term rental. We're all familiar with sites like VRBO and Airbnb, Furnished Finder, places where people who who travel for work need a short-term place to stay. You have an extra room at your house that you would like to rent out. That's an option. But what if you don't want to commit to that? You don't want like strangers sleeping at your house while you're there. There are sites like Gigster where you can rent your house or something you have to a film crew for a day. And they're not there overnight, they're just there during the day, but you still get paid. The same can go for equipment around your house. You've got a chainsaw that you've only used once. There are apps and websites that let you rent out yard equipment. You can rent your car. If you started working from home and now you're not driving, you can rent out your car, sort of like an Airbnb situation on sites like Turo. So like if you're working from home, you're not using your car, or you have an extra car that you don't drive. Same can be done for bicycles, different kinds of sporting equipment. But sticking with the idea of cars, what if you actually do have to drive to the office and you have to drive a lot? Why not use your car as advertising? We've seen those cars with the vinyl wrap on them. They are paying to do that. There are sites like Wrapify and Carvertise where you can sign up to have your car wrapped for a specific amount of time, and you get paid for driving your car. The thing about sites, or the thing about this kind of income, is you need to make sure that your driving habits fit what they are looking for. Of course, there are downsides to letting other people use your property. Depending on what it is, there can be damage, there can be wear and tear, there can be theft. But these are still great ways to make money off of stuff you already have, which would reduce the amount of work you would need to do, but you would at least make some money on it. I hope I've got you thinking about ways that you could make some money that are truly passive, that really are not going to require you to do a whole lot of work, because that's what we're about around here. What should you watch after this video? If you're planning to move abroad, you should watch the video I did called Making a Financial Plan to Move Abroad. I will link that here and below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please share, and turn on notifications. Do all the things.